In a small inn near the train tracks in Hong Kong in 1995. A girl in leather opens a room, puts on a mask, dusts, changes the sheets, scrubs the floor. After skillfully completing these tasks, she freshens up, turns off the lights and closes the windows, then takes out the trash. As night falls, a man enters the room, turns on the lights and opens the windows. The man lights a cigarette and falls asleep on the freshly made bed. The man's name is Leon. He's a hitman. He thinks the best thing about his job is not having to make decisions. He's lazy and likes others to arrange everything for him, so he needs a partner. The partner's job is to arrange everything for Leon. Determine the number of people, the layout of the room, and the escape route. Then fax the details to Leon. He's only responsible for killing, at the specified time and place, killing the specified person. After completing his mission that day, Leon took a bus and ran into an elementary school classmate he hadn't seen in years. Everyone has a past, even hitmen have elementary school classmates. Every time he meets these people, they ask the same questions, which are pretty much the same. How's life? Where do you work? Any chance we can make money together? Every time this happens, Leon takes out a group photo, making others think he's married with children. Actually, the photo was just taken randomly with a passerby. When they part ways, the classmate hands him a wedding invitation. Although he wants to go, he knows such occasions are not suitable for him. After getting off the bus, Leon goes to the designated place to collect his reward, while his partner Michelle changes the sheets, cleans the room, turns off the lights, closes the windows, and takes out the trash before he returns. But she doesn't throw away the trash, she takes it home to inspect it carefully. Through this trash, she learns that Leon likes to go to a bar. She sits in the seat he sat in as if she were with him. She's a very practical person, she knows how to make herself happier. She listens to the records Leon listened to, smokes his leftover cigarettes, and sleeps on the sheets he slept on. In that cramped inn, as she said herself, she knows how to make herself happier, but after happiness comes even greater emptiness. At this time, the police come to the inn. They are looking for someone, not Leon, but Takeshi, the son of the innkeeper. Michelle reminds him not to come out first, the police won't leave so soon. Every day you pass by many people, and that person may become your friend or confidant, but his confidant will never be those police. He liked to talk since he was little, but after eating a can of expired pineapple at the age of 5, he never spoke again, so he has few friends and can't find a job, so he decided to be his own boss. He rides his motorcycle randomly at night, finds a store, pries open the door, and does business without capital. Takeshi feels since the rent has already been paid, there's no need to waste it. Doing business means taking care of every customer's feelings. He works diligently every night, staying up late. Although he doesn't earn much money, he lives happily. Sometimes he acts as the owner of a laundry, forcibly washing clothes for beggars. As the owner of a barber shop, he randomly grabs a passerby to wash their hair and shave them. Or he becomes the owner of an ice cream shop, forcing a family to eat a lot of ice cream. He loved eating ice cream since he was a child, but later his mother was hit and killed by an ice cream truck. After his mother's death, his father became silent and stopped liking ice cream. Perhaps because both of them didn't like to talk, the father and son have always had a good relationship. That night, Takeshi left some ice cream for his father. After eating it, his father started to have diarrhea, so Takeshi blocked the door of the toilet. Meanwhile, in the hotel, Michelle received a new task again. Leon spared a father and daughter during the execution of this task. Sometimes business is slow for a year or two, so Leon also makes some extra money, such as collecting debts for others. This day, while collecting debts, he was intercepted by a group of people, got injured while escaping, and returned to the hotel to start removing bullets. He hates digging bullets out of himself, it makes him feel tired. That night he went to bed early, because he had to make a decision the next day. 2 weeks later, Leon took the initiative to arrange to meet Michelle for the first time. He wanted to tell her a decision, but he stood her up. He came to the bar, thinking Michelle would come here to see him, because he thought that as partners, besides understanding her, he should also give her a chance to understand him. So sometimes he deliberately leaves some clues for her to know where he often appears. Over the years, Michelle has become part of Leon's life. This time, Leon wanted to tell her that he didn't want to live like this anymore. But no matter how much he thought about it, he still didn't know how to say it. So he decided to tell her in another way. He instructed the waiter that if a woman came looking for him, Give her this copper plate and tell her, his lucky number is 1818, which is actually a song in the jukebox. The song is called Forget Him. After leaving the bar, Leon met Karen, a blonde woman who approached him. It was raining heavily outside. Karen hugged him and ran in the rain. Leon escorted her to her residence. Karen invited him up. When Leon didn't answer, Karen snatched his clothes and ran upstairs. Leon followed her into the house. After entering the house, Leon changed his clothes. He asked, "Whose clothes are these?" Karen didn't answer, but shouted loudly out of the window, and then sadly asked, "Do you know why I dye my hair like this? Because I don't want people to forget me so easily." She approached Leon and asked, "Do you like me?" Leon said indifferently that he just wanted company tonight. Karen said, "Maybe you'll like me tomorrow." That night, Leon and Karen comforted each other physically. Meanwhile, in the small hotel room, Michelle immersed herself in the pain of emptiness and happiness intertwined in her own way. The man who had once existed in her silent life left like this. Perhaps she never really had him, but she couldn't accept his departure. At this time, Takeshi started his crazy nightlife again. This time he was selling talismans, but business was not good. At this moment, a woman claiming to be Charlie made a phone call nearby. Her boyfriend informed her over the phone that he was getting married to another woman, and Charlie crazily congratulated her boyfriend on having a child early. After hanging up the phone, she asked Takeshi for a coin, then called the woman, scolded her angrily, but there was no response from the other end of the phone. After that, she forcibly leaned on Takeshi's shoulder and cried loudly. Every night, you encounter many strange people. Many nights, Takeshi sees this girl, but the result is always the same. Takeshi really wants to tell her that some things can't be resolved over the phone, either talk face to face or take action. Takeshi didn't speak, but Charlie understood his meaning. So Takeshi rode his motorcycle and took her to the woman's place. That night, Takeshi accompanied her to many places, but didn't find the woman. He began to doubt whether she really knew where the woman lived. Paranoid, she babbled to everyone, suspecting everyone had something with that woman. Takeshi found an inflatable doll, and Charlie was convinced it was the woman. It wasn't until they entered the restaurant that he realized the woman they were looking for was actually a man. That night it was raining. Takeshi was convinced that Charlie was his first love. It felt like he owned a store. She ran in without realizing it, and he didn't know how long she would stay. Of course, the longer the better. Takeshi took her to watch a football match, but Charlie refused to leave after the match. She came to watch the football match because her ex-boyfriend loved it, thinking she might meet him here. Charlie still had her ex-boyfriend in her mind. She leaned on Takeshi's shoulder again. Although Takeshi felt uncomfortable, he was optimistic because he knew everything would expire eventually. He thought Charlie's relationship with her boyfriend would expire soon, but what he didn't expect was that the fastest expiration would be his. That day, Takeshi asked her to watch a football match, but she didn't come. When the stadium started to turn off the lights, Takeshi felt heartbroken. They say heartbreak is very painful, but he didn't feel much. He just felt irresponsible for what he had done before. He shouldn't have casually entered other people's stores, coming and going as he pleased. Because every store has feelings, this discovery had a big impact on him because it helped him make a decision. Takeshi went to work as a waiter in a Japanese restaurant, and here he met Leon, who had already retired from his previous life. Leon planned to open a store, so he chatted with the boss. Meanwhile, Takeshi changed the record, and the song playing was Forget Him. Leon hadn't been to that bar for a long time because he didn't want to remember Michelle, but some things are inevitable. After that, he never went to the Japanese restaurant again. At night, the owner of the Japanese restaurant recorded a video for his son, saying some words and singing a birthday song. He was a man with strong family values and often sent videos to his family. Takeshi wanted to learn from him, but he didn't know who to send the video to after recording it. With nothing much to shoot, he filmed himself singing, the customers in the store, his father cooking, walking, and sleeping. That night, he found his father secretly watching the videotape, and he looked very happy. Takeshi remembered clearly that it was his father's birthday that day. His father smiled while watching, but he didn't know what he was smiling at. At this time, in the deserted subway station, Karen met Michelle by chance. They both turned their heads at the same time and smelled a familiar scent on each other, Leon's favorite perfume. Back home, Karen told him that she had met a woman today who smelled of his favorite perfume. She helped Leon arrange to meet her. Whether to go or not, Leon decided for himself. It was pouring rain at night. Leon and Michelle sat quietly, while Karen was idle outside. She slowly walked back in the pouring rain. Just when she needed a raincoat, Leon ran out again and returned to her side. She thought how nice it would be if it rained every day, but this time Leon said he wouldn't go up again. Karen bit him, saying it was to leave a memory, so even if he didn't remember her appearance, he could remember that she had bitten him. Leon looked at her painful expression and said, "I will remember you." Then the two shared a passionate kiss, and Leon left without looking back. Actually, whether Leon remembers her or not doesn't matter. For her, Leon was just a process. They were destined to be passing travelers to each other. After returning to the coffee shop, Michelle asked Leon, "Are we still partners?" Leon hesitated for a long time and didn't know how to answer because she was definitely a good partner in work, but she wasn't someone he could live with in life. He said, "I don't think I'll work with you anymore." After blowing out a puff of smoke, Michelle said, "Help me one last time." Leon agreed to help her. That night, Michelle, dressed in a red leather jacket, arranged everything. She made a cold call to the newspaper, saying she wanted to give her friend a headline. Leon came to the designated place as requested, but it was a trap. Leon died in his last mission. The greatest benefit of this job is that many things don't require you to make decisions. People, time, and place are decided by others from the beginning. Meanwhile, Takeshi was packing his bags. His father suddenly fell ill some time ago, and shortly after being taken to the hospital, he passed away. For many years, with his father around, he always felt like a child. Now suddenly, he felt like he had become an adult, and he didn't want to be one. He hoped his father could always be by his side. When leaving, he dug out that videotape and watched it repeatedly. He knew he would never have the chance to taste his father's steak again, but he would always remember that taste. After that, the owner of the Japanese restaurant also returned to Japan. With no savings, Takeshi returned to his old trade, becoming a boss again. That night, a girl dressed as a flight attendant came to exchange change, and Takeshi immediately recognized her. She was Charlie, who had asked Takeshi to accompany her through a heartbreak in the middle of the night. She had found a new boyfriend now. Takeshi pretended to be shot behind her like a clown with a broom. But Charlie didn't even look back. Until they left, Takeshi didn't catch her attention. That night, the weather was a bit chilly. Winter seemed to have come early this year. Michelle had long gotten used to days without a partner. Sometimes she would cooperate with other assassins, but she would never help them make beds or clean up trash again. The best partners shouldn't have emotions. At this moment, the sound of fighting came from behind her, but Michelle acted as if she hadn't seen it. When the others dispersed, only Takeshi, with a face full of bloodstains, remained. Every day, we have the opportunity to brush past many people. Some of them may become our friends or confidants, so he never gave up any chance to brush past others, sometimes resulting in getting injured. Maybe it was because of the weather that night, she felt he was very kind. So Michelle asked him to take her home. She hadn't ridden a motorcycle in a long time, nor had she been this close to someone for a while. The road wasn't long, but for that minute, she felt warm.